for shooting here today, how did you guys kind of plan out like what shots you wanted to get?
Yes, so within that, this all starts months in advance, right? So we start figuring out, just putting together a huge Google Doc of everything that we think we might do. We just throw it in there, and then we start calling people, and that's when we get on the phone with Jesse and other people like that, and slowly you start whittling it down to the right kind of story that you want to tell throughout, and then you get with your production crew, and it is a lot of paperwork. Filmmaking is, most people think it's this, but for the production crew and for the department heads, it's a lot of huddling around tables, and we create, with the script, that turns into, I'll show you here. So we would start with a script like this, that's pretty normal. And then what we do is we go into part two. We start a shooting schedule. We start making out what everything's supposed to be, and then kind of breaking that down a little bit. And then from this point, we move to Then we move to our shot list. Now the shot list is this is how we break down the script into every single thing that you will see. So this is the first scene. Sorry. They see one scene. But you have to break that down into every single shot that you see on camera. Every time a camera moves, that has to become something else. And so you start breaking it down like this, and it goes from everything to scene, to the shot, to the angle, how the camera moves. Then you've got a whole coded system for locations as well as the cast. Times day, and then you got your camera notes over here that tells you, which camera is responsible for what, where the drones might be, things like that. So this is the whole process that happens before we ever even consider getting out here.
What gave you the idea for the show?
Well, I grew up on the East Coast in New York, and always had a fascination for the West, right? As most kids do. But I also grew up in a family that was big on food, big on cooking, so I learned how to cook at a very young age. And over the years, I have been very successful in the industry. It was a career that I loved. Well, the last couple of summers, I had the pleasure of going out to a couple of ranches in Yellowstone as a guest chef. And at the time, I had finished up with a show that we had on Amazon Prime called The Wise Guy Kitchen. And it was more of that fun, type of Soprano-esque, if you will, type of cooking show. And somebody recognized me sitting on a deck looking at Yellowstone Mountain, and they go, "Aren't you that Wise Guy chef?" And I said, "No, you got the wrong guy." And they go, "Yeah, you are." And they pulled up on Facebook and looked at it, and I said, "Yeah, I used to cook with Wise Guys, now I'm cooking with cowboys." And a bulb went off. It's like, cooking with cowboys. So I ran back to the cabin and kind of wrote what's called a show Bible and started making phone calls. We've worked on this for probably over a year now to bring it to where it is today in front of you.
Great. And what's the show Bible? What's that look like?
Well, a show Bible is, what is the show actually going to be about? There's so many cooking shows, there's so many travel shows, and there's so many educational shows. I wanted it to be a combination of the three. I wanted it to be a fun show where, yes, we do cooking segments where I'm cooking, or local chefs are cooking, whether that's a cowboy chef or a ranch or a Western themed restaurant, and also focus on the community, showing people that there's parts of America that they should travel to. There's big places all over the United States, all over the world that people want to go to. A beach is a beach. But something like this, something like Casper and Cody and different areas of Wyoming, Montana, and the list goes on and on, it shows families that, make America cowboy again. Bring your children, let them see what life was like in America. Hence comes the educational part, visiting museums such as this one, talking with local experts. What makes Casper Casper? Why should people come here? And one of the things I told my producers is that there's so many big cities in Wyoming and other states that families know about and travel to. But we want to focus on the smaller communities. We want to focus on the family-owned businesses, whether that's a ranch, whether that's a trail ride, whether that's a barbecue restaurant. the big people, the big companies, they don't need us. It's the little people that like us that we want to work together.
But I was wondering, how'd you make the jump from chef to actor?
Oh, well, that's funny. I was doing a private event one time, and the entertainment didn't show up. And I was asked if I could do something to entertain the crowd. And I said, I'm a chef, I'm a caterer. What do I know about entertaining? And I came up with the idea of just teaching the people that were there, the guests, how to cook, what they're getting ready to eat. And it was funny because the night before that, I was making dinner for some friends, and one of my friends came into my kitchen. He goes, we had just watched the TV show The Sopranos, I think, and he goes, man, it smells like a wise guy kitchen in here. And lo and behold, the next day when I did that event, out of my mouth came, welcome to the Wise Guy Kitchen. And we just started it as a basically a little cable show, and we wound up getting it on Amazon. And I took that and decided to make a play out of it, a musical. So we did the Wise Guy Kitchen Live, which was a comedy musical with live cooking on stage, and we traveled the country. And unfortunately, when COVID hit, we had to shut down, and a lot of my actors moved away. You know, they went back to California or New York or Florida, wherever they came from. And when the time came to reboot it, the bright light went off about Cooking with Cowboys. And I really, really love what we're doing right now. Eventually, I may reboot the Wise Guy Kitchen show again. And we were fortunate enough to catch the eye of the folks at the Telly Awards and the Taste Awards, which is kind of like the Oscars of food, fashion, and photography, if you will, all of that. And I was blessed to have won 6 Telly Awards and 6 Taste Awards for that show. And with Cooking with Cowboys, we hope the same will happen, and we hope we can get it into Sundance. And we just, more than that, we hope that the people that watch it enjoy it and learn something from it.
Cool.